The children. If that happen, it's better they remove themselves from in privately. So a lot of principles came out and very, for me, pointed. And if those principles, some of us, our children probably are adults, but you reflect back, you realize that if you had placed a lot of these in place, things probably would have been better. Isn't that so? And some of you who still have the opportunity, you might be realizing that I need to start put things in order. So, all right, so we offer you night afternoon. Enjoy the questions and the statements. There's a hand here. The light is in this.
We are not to be too harsh. Not to be too harsh on the children.
Yes, that came out. But let's balance that. Let's balance that because
right,
the book balanced it, right? So not to be too harsh. It's one end of the spectrum.
Too severe or too
permissive, or a word that was used is indulging. Remember? Not to indulge child. So Ellen White, it's a line. This end of the extreme is being too harsh. And normally, who is the one that's too harsh? The father. Notice because some cases might be different. But on the next end of the spectrum is being too indulgent with the child. Who is the one normally guilty of that? The mothers. The mothers. So let's go into this one. Let's go into part 2. All right, just change it from the desk and then this will pick up, all right? All right, let's start with Hebrews chapter 12, verses 5. Hebrews 12, reading verses 5 to 11. It says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which, go back. And ye have forgotten. Thank you. The exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, what says there? Despise not thou the what? Chastening of the Lord, nor what? Faint when thou art what? Rebuke of him. Verse 6. For whom the Lord what? Loveth, he does what? Chasteneth and scourgeth everyone, son whom he receiveth. What do you understand from that? What do you understand from those two verses? It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he what? Chasteneth, whom he receiveth. Verse on the table. Verse 7. Verse 7 says, if ye endure what? Chastening, God dealeth with you son. For what son is verse 8? If ye be without what? Chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye what? Bastards and not son. When it's a bastards, what do you mean? Huh? Who is a bastard? It's not. It's not. But really, I'm telling you what it means. So, not your child, not your biological child, outside. But we not. If you are not chastised, watch me now. Then you are what? Bastard. love it, he rebuke and chastise. Let me make something clear to you. Come in. Make something clear to you. Once you have a child, and I want to ask anyone down there tonight, let me know. Once you have a child go through different stages. You know what my grandmother used to say? She loved them when them small. But once they start get a little big, she don't want to deal with them, you know. That's what my mother used to say. And I come to realize when they're small, older, and the personality start coming, especially when they reach which age, which period? Teenage. You know about teenage cockroach? Man, then get in your place and in the problem. Teenage. You know the word teenage comes from a word meaning storm or hurricane. So it's when them reach teenagers, you're about to go through the storm or hurricane. But the truth is, many of us miss the early stage. If we do well, 1 to 7, things will be a little better. But many of us were in those early stage. All right, we have a hand over this side, Sister Pattison,
okay,
and then Sister Karen. Yes.
We'll come back to your definition of the term bastard. The definition of the bastard is having a child of wedlock without the father's name. You don't have the father's name, so you call it bastard child. You're not with the right woman, with the woman at the house. That applies.
Yes, thanks for that. Correct. Yes.
That applies to the text. Remember, churches, one is the bride of Christ, and one is the bride of Satan. The bride of Christ, belonging to him, we are adopted into his family. So it's like a child that you don't really care about, you don't really correct. You can't do what you do. And even sometimes it happens in the classroom, that child that does this and the parents cuss you out, that child you do them. You don't allow him, make him do what he wants to do.
His own destruction.
Yes, and more than likely than not, that child is going to fail.
Yes.
So the child that belongs to the woman of Revelation 13, the church, that's God. So he says, whom the Lord he chasteneth, and we need to be curbed, and somehow we need some, what they call it, B-grade sand for rub we down to get us into what God wants us to be. So the Lord are allowed he allows us to be tried and tested, to be proven so that we can develop the characteristics that he wants us. Those that belong to the other woman, the bastard, that don't bear his, well, that child is left to do. He says he left you up to your own reprobation. And that's how I look at that text, how it applies. So you're not a son of God. If you accepted him and you become engrafted into his family, then you would accept the chastening and the correction. Rebel and refuse other, and he leave you alone to do what you want to do. But remember, there are consequences to our actions.
All right. So, for that back, all right, is the church. The husband is Christ. If you are seed of the woman, church, chastisement will come. And you understand, chastisement is to carry to a good your character. Old time people say bend the tree when it young before it get old. So here God is saying, bastard. But if you are a son, then you're going to get the chastisement. Yes.
I want to look at that bastard situation from an with Isaac and Ishmael. Isaac was a child of the promise, and he recognized and he did not have any part of the promise that God made to his people. And so the bastard in that sense is not God's chosen.
Other perspective. That's good. So I want to tell the young people, as long as your sons and daughters, parents are here, and sometimes favorable. Always remember, the is coming because of something you did. What you sow is what you reap. Let's go to the next slide. Still in Hebrews 12. Watch. Furthermore, we have had what? Fathers of our flesh, which corrected us. Not true? Your father, your earthly father. And we gave them what? Reverence. Watch this now. Shall much rather be in what? Subject unto the what? Father of spirits and live. Verse 10. For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure. Earthly father, our what? Let's see the next slide. Verse 11. Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but what? Grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, of righteousness unto them which are exercised there. Come now, watch this. How much of you, after you get big, you know, say, when we get them lit there. But you know, say, how much of us when we're older now, we look back and say, wow, you know, say, me think, mommy off, but I good, you know. And let's look at the opposite. How much poil them pitney and have to bury them. How much heartache parents face for the spoiling. Let me make it clear. Spoiling doesn't equal love. Love must be mixed with what? Chastening. Alright? Remember, we are born in sin and we are shapen in iniquity. Proverbs 14 verse 34. He met right unto a man, but the end thereof are death. We have parents, and parents have a parent. So that parent guide this parent, and this parent guide you. That's. Let's take this quote from Adventist Home, starting at page 314, paragraph 4. Watch this. This is serious. Listen to this. If parents do not agree, let them up from the presence of their children until an understanding be arrived at. How much people practice that? How much parents practice that? How the slide move? Go back. Not done? Yes. Parents talk to me. Not parents practice. If parents do not agree on an issue, right? Let them absent themselves. You're dealing with a child who don't agree. Stop. Stop. Excuse yourself. From the presence of their children, till understanding can be arrived at. You know why? The child disagreement between you. And that's not good, not positive in that little mind. It's going to work to bitterness. So what the prophet said, yourself, take away your presence of the child. Let's recon. Too often, watch this, the parents are not united in their family. Government. The father who is with his children, but little, he's not a lot like the mother, and is ignorant of their peculiarities, the character defects. Disposition and temperament is harsh and severe. He does not control his temper, but corrects in what? Passion. A lot of fathers do that. The child knows this, and instead of being subdued, the punishment fills him with anger. So all of us need to learn, I would say, right way how to administer correction. Correct? All of us, even parents, we need to learn the right way to administer. I know. I don't just one. God give together yourself if that's going to be the case. Next slide. Watch this. Paragraph 5, it says, the mother allows misdemeanors at one time, for which you will severely punish at another. What you do to the child? You can't consistent. Same thing, you know. Next time, at the same thing you get. Confuse the child. You can't, and guess who do that? Based on the council. Who do something there? The mother. Stop it. Them something there. Gotta go. Have a principle, and you say, none of that. And then by tomorrow, the child come back, and you say, all right. And then the next day, you're mad. Same thing where you allow. It is the mother. The thing say, through the inspiration, say, pause and think. You don't have to think long. Right now, the Spirit, I bring it now in the mind. Say, you know, sir, me know, say, me a true or so emotion, it a create problem. Make a and stick to the principle. We have a hand up there. Have a hand. Make a principle. As the mic go, let's yes. It's children what to expect and are tempted to see how far they can transgress with impunity. Thus are sown seeds that spring up on. Remember that? The child say, hold on. Watch you go on, Ella. The child say, but hold on. Mommy say, 9 last night. We make me go 10 o'clock. You see them little evil judgment. I tell them something that them do. That's why you must do a stick to principle. When you stick to the principle, them know say no, sir. And that's why I stick. If at 9 o'clock, not 1 minute after 9. So because them little mind no look, you know. See, but you know, no, sir. The member say yesterday me get 30 minutes. So let me see if I can get an hour today. Them judgment they have to watch it. You see what them say? Train never know just what to expect and are tempted, I see it, to see how far. You know, as parents, you wonder about them. You tempt me. Eh? Them, you tempt me. Grace with impunity. Thus are sown seeds of what? Evil that up and bear fruit. Yes, Mike?
Yeah. What? How parents live overseas, right? And you know, normally they cannot really beat a child, children, because you know the laws of the land will, you know, make a call, pile up whatever they do, and they take a trip to beat them from now till tomorrow, 2 days. And sometimes the children don't even probably can remember or recall. Right? But the Lord says that, you know, whenever you sit, it pop up its head. Oh, would you agree that?
So you can't fly a Jamaica fit. If any parent needs weak, you are. Did I get that right? If I get it right.
No. Your classification said that they are weak. What they are doing, they are into the laws of the land, with the country where they are living in, because if they make a phone call to the authorities, they can be lost, children and be taken away from them.
All right. What time? Church? All right. Let me ask you here. You have a fear of God? You know God, you must know. May I ask you so? Sometimes it look like we forget. We don't know, say God, we mash we up. We got to mash hospital. We must have a fear. Sometimes it is a love. Guess what? We know that even when God mash you up, I feel who's good? Who are good? Let me make something clear to you. You see the child. Listen to me good. Listen good. You see the child where starting at the answer, little baby, little baby, and from right the start train. Even before, where the spirit of prophecy says start train from, in the womb. If you would have brought and have that situation to deal with, you slip up. You slip up somewhere. The child say, and at the same time tremble. If they starting to do wrong, then tremble. Say, no, that it's important. It's fear and love. And the same relationship we have with God. We love God. If we run, we know that God loves us. Say, don't cross certain part because God will deal with you. Something must happen, but let me tell you something, brethren. A lot of us lose the moments. We spoil the children. We don't understand the principle. It's all written, you know. It's all written. We lose the little steps. Remember, you know, the window is year 1 to what? 7. The window is year 1 to 7. Easier or more? Sometimes all 10 times more difficult because every child is the same. Or not every child is the same, not true. One child you might say, that, and that's it. Another child, and if you have, you know, another child, and after that, it can be very easy if you catch the 1 to 7, or if you waste the 1 to 7, very. But that situation, this people on that. But I say when I look at that, at some control, somewhere has been lost. And some people where you see them foreign teach them. That goes back to home. That goes back to education. There's a lot of things, you know, it's multidisciplinary. A lot of things. But it's serious because imagine God give you something you yearn. The Bible says God give it to you, you know. Having a child is a gift. You know how much people healthy and a try and them can't have a, is a child come. No, it's still a gift. When you study this concept, it's a gift. And imagine the message back to him. So your salvation is tied into the child. All right, next slide. One, it says, in this work of what? Discipline, the child, watch this. May I try to explain to you? Brain will say, look, father, yeah. But I feel like when mommy say it, I can go get through with daddy. I know so it work. I want something. Understand? But if, watch out. But if the father, by word, look, shows that he feels that she is, and that he must make up for the harshness by petting. By what? Petting. And in the child will be ruined. The child will be what? That lay it down. Father must just lay it down. Almost the same time. Lay it down. If a discussion need to be had, then when that happen? Sorry? The father go interrupt. What you doing? The mother lay it down and you are going to interrupt. You don't even know what you're doing. It's child will be ruined. He can do as he pleases. Parents who commit the sin, what is parents who commit the sin against for the ruin of their soul. You see why some parents will be by the fact that, you understand what I'm saying? Parents will be by the fact that their child is lost because they are the one responsible. Next slide. Remember in the message. Intense interest upon every how the children are treated. Mercy. By parents or guardians or friends. Angels are look. What strange management they witness in a family where so the mother gone left and the father child. This cannot and will not be accepted by heaven. It says, the tones of the voice of the father, all right, and mother, their looks, their words manifest that they are not you in the management. You see the video fast. Because once it continue, all the children them are going to mess up. Everyone who pass through are going to mess up. Tide is a heavy load. It's a heavy load. Next slide. It says, 315 paragraph 2. It says, the father casts restriction upon the mother and leads the children to respect the mother's tenderness and affection for the mother thinks she is compelled to give large affection to the children, to gratify and indulge them. But she thinks the father is harsh and impatient, and she must work to counteract the influence of his severity. That's not the way to do it. The mother in their own space discussion each other, but you don't need to counteract the father. Yes, Mike.
Yes. From the realize that in us from the beginning that single parenting
Not be a single
parenting, right? It should. I realize what I'm depicting here is always mother and father and children. We're in rearing, right? But it's, you know, my heart goes out for even probably like parents really after really leave their home because of situation, and either leave the mother and children, or the mother leave the children with the father separate ways. But it's so sad, you know, we have to really just look at it and say, boy, if these counselors were actually outlining before even marriage, or just probably read the church, corners of the churches, probably you'd have a better today and better members within the church.
Yes, my brother, the right includes a mother, husband, and a child. I'm trying to remember if, because there are several sections in the book with this, but we're not right. We are not dealing with that right now. But this is the ideal is the mother, the father, husband, wife, and the children are. All right. So you see these things that we need in. As long as you're still at the place and you have the opportunity, and reap the benefit. Understand? You reap the benefit. Again, Mother and father need to talk, husband and wife, separately, not in the presence of the child. And each must not be trying to counteract each other. This will result in bitter fruit. All right, next slide. We're near the end today. Much prayer, sober reflection needed. I cannot agree more. Much prayer, sober cannot chastening. What does she mean? Even in the home circle, unless there is a conformity of the will and disposition to the will of God, all the faculties and passions are to be brought into harmony with the attributes of Christ. So all the words, all the behaviors, they all have to come in harmony with Christ. Next slide. We have one more and then we can close. It says, 3:15 paragraph 3. All right. If the father and mother in the love and fear of God unite to have authority in the home, they will see the necessity of much prayer, much sober reflection. Them back go to the own. It's going to reflection. Can't do it alone. It says, they will see the necessity of much prayer, much sober reflection. And as they seek God, their eyes will be open to see heavenly messengers to protect them in answer to the prayer of faith. They will own the weakness of their character and go on unto perfection. So you must constantly present your children. Present your children to the Lord. Let's close up. All right. Hearts to be bound by a cord of love. It says, Father and mother, bind your hearts in closest, happiest union. That's between the husband and the wife. Huh? Do not grow apart, but bind yourselves more closely to each other. Then you are prepared